Welcome to Born Again to Live. I'm Eric Miller.
And I'm Amy.
And we invite you to walk along
with us
as we learn what it truly means
to be born again.
All right, guys, so today is February 5th. This is kind of a special day for me. It is my son Kipton's birthday.
Woo!
And I want to wish him a very happy birthday. Happy 14th, son, and Dad loves you so much.
Happy birthday, Kipton!
Hello and welcome to Born Again to Live. Amy and I are sitting around my kitchen right now, and we actually have a pot of water on for some tea, and we just wanted to get back on here and continue the conversation with fruit of the Spirit. There was a lot left to be desired in the last episode, so we're going to hit it here and try and go through a few more of these.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we really dive into Scripture again, Eric, let's talk about just fruit for a second.
Well, I love fruit, and I love trying different fruits.
Uh-huh.
I think my favorite was probably mango.
Huh?
I love, it's not real mango, it's an offshoot of mango, but
Okay.
it's like I can't remember, wine type
Okay.
something. Anyways, it's really, really sweet. Oh my gosh, so good. I love to eat those. Peeling them's not the easiest.
Yeah, no.
But I got to go on my dragon fruit. And that's why Amy came on the air
Laughing.
was not many people say they have a dragon fruit rant. But for years, I have seen dragon fruit, and I think, man, that looks really cool. And one day, I was at Walmart,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, dragon fruit. I'm going to buy one, even though they're expensive, and I'm going to take it home. And I got home, and I cut it open. Had zero flavor.
Yeah?
And they're like, oh, yeah, dragon fruit pairs with stuff. It's not really its own thing. And I'm like, for that amount of money
Right.
and that much effort to get it out of its thing, I need flavor.
Yeah.
And so if you're a dragon fruit fan, I am not.
It's the tofu of fruit, is it?
There you go.
Yeah, I think I've had it in things like fruit salads, and that was like in Hawaii and some exotic places. But yeah, I don't ever remember being like, wow, this is amazing. It looks cool, but
Yeah.
And of course now it's made its resurgence as a tea flavoring at Taco Bell. So, it's made the big time, let's just say.
Well, it's supposed to be really good for you. So I will give them that.
Okay, so most things that are good for you
It's
are
superfood.
somewhat flavorless, but
They got superfood.
okay, well,
Not for me.
all right. Okay. So we now that you've got your dragon fruit rant out of the way, what's one of your favorite fruits?
I'm just going to have to say, like, the all-time favorite strawberries.
Strawberries.
Raspberries.
And in what format?
What do you mean?
I mean, are we talking ice cream, pie, fresh, on cereal, raw, just off the vine?
Fruits and veggies. I'm a straight off the vine
Wow.
person.
You're a bunny. You are a bunny down a bunny trail.
Trail, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to change the podcast logo from a butterfly to a bunny. That's what I think's going to happen. Well, for me, it's I am a citrus person all the way. Grapefruit, orange, lemon, OMG, love it. Now, as you know, lemon is, you can just kind of do that right off.
I love lemon streaks. Yeah.
Woo! I learned the hard way when I was a kid. I ate too many lemons off of people's like seafood plates and didn't go well for me. But no, if you can bake it if you can bake a lemon or an orange into anything, a tart, a cookie, a cake, I just love citrus flavors. So anyway, those are fun facts that you probably don't even care about us, but now you know us a little bit more. We're gonna go ahead and grab some of that tea, and we're gonna get back and talk about the spiritual fruits that God has for us in His Word.
All right, and we're back with our tea, and we're ready to talk about some fruits of the Spirit again. Just to update you and get you back on track, because last time was a while ago, here is Amy again with the Galatians 22-23 scripture.
From chapter 5. It says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law." And this is the NIV version, by the way.
So last time we hit on a little bit on love, joy, peace, self-control, and faithfulness.
Right.
So I think we do ourselves a disservice if we don't mention the others. That's why we came back with a second episode, to just try to give you a little more understanding. So, Amy, what's forbearance?
Woo, forbearance, man, there's a whole lot wrapped up in that word. Some translations, that's why I mentioned NIV. A lot of the times that's usually what I read from. But there's a lot of other versions of Bible translations out there, guys. And a lot of it comes down to, I think, how they translate the Bible. It's like a philosophy. So I just like the way the NIV version reads the best most of the time. But sometimes if you're struggling with understanding a Bible verse, it doesn't hurt to go through, well, let me see what this version says and this version says. And sometimes there is a word that finally sticks. Oh, that's what they're talking about. Study Bibles are also a really good way to, if you're stuck on a story or a verse or something, the study Bible will give you these crazy amount of footnotes and explain everything to you. Now, I think one of the reasons why I don't often get through a Bible in a year is I get held up on the footnotes. I will read a half a page of footnotes to every quarter page of Bible. So, anyhow, but anyway, the word forbearance, if you look at other translations, the word can be patience. Another word that I think is much closer than patience is forbearance. I'm sorry, long suffering.
Yeah.
Because patience is definitely a waiting game, right? Like that's kind of how you describe patience is you're waiting for something to happen. But long suffering, that's a whole nother thing. You are waiting, but in the process, it don't feel good, right? You're suffering along. You're waiting. Like, when are things going to change for the better? I mean, like, you have to have patience in these cold winter months for spring to come. And that's kind of like it's not a bad patience. That's something good. But when you are long suffering, just waiting and waiting and waiting for something to come along that's going to make things better. And I think that's what forbearance is all about. And that is a fruit of the Spirit. And in a way, you can't really have joy if you have not mastered the art of forbearance or long suffering. Am I right about that?
You're right. And when you think about the physical fruit versus spiritual fruit, like forbearance to me, it would be the lemon. You know, it's a little hard to take, but if you get through that initial sour, it's got so much good in it, but it's hard to get past that scorn and that hurt that some people get through the waiting and long suffering.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Patience doesn't do it justice. It's that long suffering, and we don't want it to sound like a bad thing.
Yeah.
That the old saying is always, what makes a diamond? It's pressure and time.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing with the Christian and your spiritual walk with God. Sometimes you have to have that, or we always have that little moment of things don't go your way.
No.
And I'm real with you. Like, there's a lot of times where I think life's just going to be easy. And then, nope, you get hit with something out of left field. You're going, really?
Right.
But the really cool part is if you've got the long-suffering forbearance part going on for you, and you have the faithfulness of the Spirit, you can get through it. And I'll tell a personal story. About a year ago, I guess close to a year, maybe 2 years ago, I borrowed a vehicle off a guy, and ended up getting some damage when I was pulling a trailer, and it was going to cost me $500. And he's like, well, when I go get it fixed, I'll get a hold of you. I didn't have $500 like then, so I was like, okay, I'll save it up, And he talked to me like whenever it was. He's like, hey, listen, I went and took the truck the other day, so can you give me that $500? And I'm like, oh, sure. And so I was like, I'll just get it to him in a couple of days. Well, no joke, I kind of just, all right, God, I know you provide everything I need. I don't have it right now. Is there any way you can figure out how to get it for me? And I just kind of let it go. And I went through the weekend. And on Tuesday of the next week, I get a check. And this is my God's funny moment, because I got a check for something that was involved in my farm. And it was a repayment for something that was like 2 years old.
Wow.
and it was for $518. So not only did God give me what I needed, he threw in $18 just to say, I got you.
A little bit of lunch money, right?
An extra. And I was like, and most people in that situation look at it and they're like, well, it's just $518 that I randomly got. But no, God knew what I needed.
Yeah.
And he provided a little more. And $18 isn't a lot, but if you don't have $18, it's a whole lot.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an awesome story. I think when I think of forbearance, I think of we've all had a friend or a loved one that is suffering through something, whether it is a divorce or the death of a loved one or sometimes cancer, right? Mm. And they think, well, no, you don't spend time with me right now because, I'm not that fun person you remember. I'm not that ball of energy. Like I don't have a lot of good things to say right now. And to me, a good picture of what that forbearance looks like is you're just sitting there by their side, spending time with them, even though it's not the best of times, right? Like that's a picture of forbearance. And again, as we mentioned last time, joy is sometimes one of the easiest fruits of the Spirit to see because it just radiates from people. Whereas forbearance is just this quiet calmness. It's this, I'm just going to sit right here next to you. We don't have to be talking. We don't have to be doing anything. But kind of like you were saying with Jake the cat, just be there for that person.
Yeah.
And that can definitely be forbearance for a friend or even just for yourself if you're going through something like that.
So just so the listeners haven't, my cat's name is Jake and I've taught him to hug. So on days when I'm alone, my cat can give me a hug. So, all right. Another one of the spirits is goodness.
Goodness.
And I don't know, it's hard to describe goodness, but it's just a genuine desire to do the right thing, I think.
It's one of those you'll know it when you see it kind of things, right? Like when a kid helps a old lady across the street kind of a thing, right? Like I do feel like that is one of those generic terms in there, but it really does have its own flavor. Goodness, it's not the dragon fruit of the scripture, Eric. Like it does. Goodness is, it's super hard to describe, but you do know it when you see it, right?
Not long ago, we had a volleyball tournament with Big Blue, and towards the end of the tournament, there was a guy who was eliminated like a round and a half ago, or a round ago, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Anyways, he came over to the scores table where I was sitting, and he said, hey, do you have a trash bag so I can pick up the trash?
Yeah.
That's goodness.
Right.
That guy had no reason to be there other than his kids had already been eliminated. He was eliminated from the competition. He was just enjoying the competition. And then out of the kindness and goodness of his heart, he said, there's trash on the bleachers. I can pick that up so they don't have to.
Yeah, that was awesome. And that just, I think that made us feel so good that like we were seen in that moment. We were, because I think moments like that volleyball tournament, there was so much going on, and every time there was a hiccup or there was we had a problem with our some of the lineups for the teams, we couldn't get the concession stand window open. We had a lot of hiccups, and I think as organizers of the event, we're too focused on what's going, a little bit of what's going wrong or what we need to fix. And you do feel like you're these invisible behind the show components. But here was this guy like saying, I see you guys. I see how hard you're working, how much, energy you're putting in to make this event great for me, for my kids, for everyone here. And that was his way of just honoring us and wanting to do his part. So, do you know that person's name?
I do not know that.
Well, to whoever he was, if he's listening, thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
It was just a genuine moment of goodness.
Yeah.
I think of those kind of things as that's goodness. There was no reward in it, but
yeah.
It.
Yep.
Can
I go back to love then?
Yeah.
That's the first one. So the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace being the first three. And those are definitely the feel-good ones. Those are the ones that maybe are more expressions than work, right? Some of those other ones, goodness, forbearance, there's a little bit of work there. But yeah, love, joy, peace, those usually feel really good. But I wanna go deeper into this love, and by no means will this be the last time we talk about this. But as mentioned before, what really talks about that agape love is the verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, 4-8. And guys, almost anyone that hasn't even set foot in a church has heard this because it's often read at weddings. And it's interesting because, yeah, this should be the love that a married couple exhibits, but this is the kind of love that we should all be exhibiting to everybody all the time. This is not exclusive to weddings. This is a humankind kind of thing. So it says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And then I'm going to just stop with the beginning of 8, love never fails. So that is what love means when we're talking about it in the fruit of the Spirit. And you know, that old expression, love, it's not a feeling, it's not an emotion, it's a verb, right? When you love people, it is telling them the truth. It's sharing with them God's truth. It is steering them when they're going off course. I mean, I think you were just talking about this earlier, Eric, like a buddy of yours might be a little bit mad at you, but it's him being one of your best friends, being like, hey, man, that wasn't cool, right? And so... yeah. And you're like, I get it. I'm like, all right, as long as you get it.
Yeah. And to tie this back to something that was a long time ago we talked about in this podcast, when the religious leaders were pressuring Jesus and saying, what's the greatest commandment?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, love God, but then love the neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
And if you had that definition as your definition and your reason and your way you love, everything else is easy.
Mm-hmm.
You can love your neighbor like that.
Yeah.
You're going to be successful in life and you're going to have a great life and everything's going to go great for you because that's going to change the world around you. And when we ask the question in this podcast, what are you born again for? Right there's what you're born again for, to show the love of God, which is defined in that scripture, to everybody. It's not just who you pick, it's everybody.
Oh my gosh, we could just have like 9 different episodes just on this scripture. We could just go verse by verse through how to really love the Christian way. And again, it has nothing to do with feelings. It has to do with what's truth.
Yeah. And the one that I love out of that list was love does not boast.
Oh, I know, right?
Like, I love the whole list and everything in it, but love does not boast. Like, and when you think about just that, like, I don't want to get, this is a tangent again, but.
For sure.
I heard a guy one time talk about people and conversations, and Amy and I are pretty good conversationalists. And most people, when they're having a conversation with somebody else, are listening to say something in return.
Right. Yep.
Real good conversation is when you listen and don't have any idea how to change the situation. You're just listening.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's not being boastful, because I'm not trying to one-up you. I'm not trying to, I'm going to come in and say, Amy, well, I do it right because I do it like this. No, you're going, that sucks, and I'm sorry for you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's, we don't talk about that enough, I don't think. So, well, since this is a New Year Everyday podcast, maybe we'll make that one of our goals in the new year, is to not be boastful. But, all right. Well, I guess we're probably finishing up our discussion of the fruits of the Spirit for now. There is always more time to get back to that.
And again, I go back to the whole thought of you'll know them by their fruit. So as closer to this, if Amy can, I'm going to see if she will read that list again for us, just to get it fresh in your mind. But when you see someone out here or you meet someone, remember these Spirit fruits, and you'll know them by their fruit.
All right. This is once again Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 through 23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. All right, listeners, have a great time, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you guys for tuning in today. We really appreciate each and every one of you. I want to remind you that we are on all the major platforms for this podcast. So like, follow, share, subscribe, whatever it takes to get our numbers up there so that other people can find us and maybe be helped by it. If you enjoy it, share it with a friend. Thank you.